Hello, welcome to another episode of Bot and Back. Today we are covering Mecha Invasion GLA-05 Scavenger, also known as Excavator. But we'll call him Scavenger because that's how everyone knows him if you're into Transformers. So let's start with Alt mode, going to his robot mode. So the first thing we want to do is take his cab and flip it down. And now we want to take these side bits here and pull them out and to the side, like so. Now, be careful when you're doing this, you kind of want to actually pull it up this way a little bit as you pull it out, because if you look here, you see this hinge, and that helps you to do so. So we pull these out. Next, we want to take this panel here and flip it over here. Don't push it all the way in because we still want to pull the arms out to the side. This sticker, by the way, I added myself. That does not come that way. So we do that. Now let's flip him over. First, we want to pull this up, untab that, then pull the treads apart like so. Now we want to reach in and grab his weapon and pull it out, and we'll put it up to the side for now. So the next thing that we want to do is let's take this whole piece here and we're going to swing it up. Now, something you can do is you can snap it, you can push it all the way forward. It will snap if you push it very tightly, but we don't want it to snap in all the way yet, and I'll show you why when we get to the section where we bring his head out. So don't bring it all the way up, bring it most of the way up. And then next we want to fold his legs down. And if you look here, each of these legs is combined to the hip by, these here are double hinges, so we want to bring that down and that down on the double hinge. Now let's take his feet and flip them out. Both of the feet, flip them out. And then let's take this bit. This is going to become his combiner, a part of his combiner foot. Let's pull that out. And then we take his leg and we twist it at this point. Turn it, we rotate it around. Rotate it around like that, and rotate this one around the same way. Now you push this the rest of the way up, and it kind of does a soft click. Sometimes it clicks, sometimes it does more of a soft click, just as long as it's in there securely. And then we want to take his feet and pull them up, like so. And then let's take this part here, lift it up, and we want to rotate his waist around. All right. So there, we're done with the legs. Now we're going to work on his upper body. The first thing we want to do is we're going to take his arms, pull them apart, bring them down. Now, before I was saying, we do not want to click this part all the way in. So when we bring this up, that can really snap into place. Don't do that yet. This is why. So we're going to rotate the head out. We can't do that if this is clicked in all the way because there's this part of the shovel that it just keeps, it'll push against it and get stuck. So let's just bend this back forward just a little bit like that. And now we can rotate the head, and it has better clearance by doing that. And now we can go back and click this all the way in. And you'll hear a snap or a very loud click. It's kind of tight. There we go. So that's clicked in. Let's move this black piece down. And we can move this cab back up. I will warn you, this doesn't click into place as tightly as I would like. It'll stay there, but it'll probably keep coming down again as we work on this. Now let's take the shovel, move the scoop in there, move this up like this, and then move it all the way up. Okay. Now let's take next these side panels here. We're going to move them. Let's move them down a little bit. Bring this up like so. Then push this down the rest of the way. And you might be tempted to rotate it by turning it here, by holding it here. You don't want to do that. I think you'll probably be okay, but I think it's safer to take it here and push it down the rest of the way. I'm afraid if you try to turn it by using this, something might snap. So push it down the rest of the way here. So let's move this up into here. There we go. We'll do the same thing here. Move this down like that, and then move this guy up into here. And there we have his chest done. Let's bring his arm back down. Now with the arm, we want to turn this around 180, and then we want to extend his forearm. And then we can bring his fist up, and there's this little panel. Push that back in. Rotate it this way. Bring the whole arm down, and then we can just bend it a little bit. But there we go. We have one arm done. Let's just do the other side. And there we have his robot mode. The only thing we need to do now is take his weapon that we pulled out like this. We want to bend it straight, like so. Now, before we arm him, there's a piece of a magnetic bit right here. And you can put that behind his head, and his eyes will light up, which is very cool. So let's just arm him up, and we're done. Oops, there we go. That is Scavenger in his robot mode. Now let's transform him into his leg mode. So let's take the weapon back out. Now in combine mode, this will combine with all the other weapons to make the big Devastator gun. We'll do that in another video when we combine all these figures. So let's first move his arms up a little bit just so they can get out of the way. And we're going to straighten his legs. Let's do the double hinge and bring them out. Let's bring this crotch piece down. Now we want to bring his feet down like so. We want to pull the side piece out. This is going to be part of the combiner foot. Now before we bring it forward all the way, there is a bit here that comes up. Now we bring it forward all the way like that. Now let's take this part, this lower section of his leg, and rotate it around like so. Same thing with the other side. Bring this out. Bring this down. Oops, sorry, this is rotating a bit. Bring this bit up on there and bring this all the way forward like so. Rotate. Now what we want to do, we want to bring the leg up like so. And then we're going to fold it. And when we fold it, there is a tab here and a slot here, and they will go together when we bend the leg. We're going to bend the leg like this. And those will slot together. Those will tab together, excuse me. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Rotate it like that, and fold the leg in. Well, that gets a little tricky if that starts rotating. There we go, that's in. Now, let's go back here. There's this crotch piece that was hanging down. There's a post on either side of it. There's a post here and here. And those go into holes that are here and here. And we want, the only way that these are going to go into those is that if we take the leg and we do the double hinge forward a little bit until this post fits into that hole. Same thing for the other side. There. So we should have that in both sides of the legs like that. Now let's turn him around, and all we really need to do now is push these together. So they're together pretty firmly. And now we have half of him done for leg mode. All right, let's turn him around. Now, when I was showing you before, we want to unsnap this bit, unfold it again. And it's really tight. It's very tight. In fact, sometimes it feels like it's going to break, and I don't like that. There. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So we want to untab that so that his head has more clearance when we turn it around. Push this back up to push the cab up. We want to take the shovel, bring it all the way up. Let's rotate it. Bring this down. Bring the shovel up and just push it up like that. We have that part done. Now we just need to finish a few more things. So next we want to take, here, let's get the arms out of the way a little bit. We want to take this chest piece, move it down, and then underneath. And there's a little bit, there's a tab that slots into this piece. And you just push it in. Same thing for the other side. Bring this down, and then just snap it in here, like that. Now the arms. Let's start with his hands. Bring this panel up, it's underneath of here, and then push the hand down. And then turn the whole forearm down as well. And then you want to bring his shoulder down, rotate it up, and then you want to rotate this up this way so that this post goes into a hole that's right here. Post into the hole. That's in there. And then there's this slot right here on this panel, and there's a tab here, and those go together. That tab goes through that slot. And we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll bring the panel up, fist down, bring this whole forearm down, then bring the arm down like that, bring it up, and then turn this in so the post goes into that hole. And then we bring the forearm down so that that bit tabs in through there. Now the last bit that we do is we just take these silver bits here and we unfold them. Same for the other side. Take a silver bit and unfold it, like so. And then we have our leg. Well, let's turn it around so we can see it from the right direction. There we have our leg. I like that everything is self-contained, all the parts. There's no parts forming. I think that's very cool. Okay, let's bring this guy back into robot mode. So we're going to fold these bits back in. We're going to take the forearms, pull them out, and then we're going to pull the post on the shoulders out. We're going to bring the arm down and up a little bit. Let's rotate this. Bring the forearm up. Let's bring the fist out and push this panel in, and then rotate the forearm. That's one arm. Same thing on the other side. Bring the forearm out of that tab. Bring that out of that post. Bring the shoulder down. Let's bring this up a little bit. Let's turn this way first. Bring this up. Bring the fist out. Push this panel down. Turn this way. Here we have our arms done. Let's untab this side bit and bring it up into the chest. Take the other side bit and do the same thing. Bring it up into the chest. Now, let's bring out the shovel. Rotate it. Let's untab this whole part here. This is, once again, kind of tricky. There we go. Untab it just a little bit so we have the clearance to rotate the head out. Now we can tab this back in. There we go. Fold the shovel under. Bring it up. See, this came loose. Push that in. So we have his upper body done. Now we want to pull the combiner foot apart a little bit. Then we pull the legs apart on that double hinge from before on both sides and push the crotch piece up. Now we just unfold these. Like so. And we'll do the double hinge to bring the legs back down. And then for the feet, let's bring this guy up. And don't forget, on the feet, push this piece down. Same for this foot, push this piece down. Actually, we got to pull it out a little bit. And then we can push that piece down. And we want to turn this lower leg around. Bring this up. And then bring the foot out. Like so. Same thing for the other side. Turn it around at the lower leg. Bring this up. And bring the foot up. Like so. And there we have our bot mode again. Well, you can't see it now. Let me move it back, move the camera. And there we have our bot mode again. And once again, we can arm him up. Pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang. There we go. And now let's turn him into alt mode. All right, let's do the upper body first. Let's take his arm. We're going to rotate this to the side. And bring this panel out. Bring the fist down. And bring this whole thing down. The whole forearm. Leave it like that. Same thing for the other side. Bring this up. Rotate. Panel out, fist down, the whole thing down, like so. All right, so let's bring this chest piece down, like so. Then we want to take this bit, here, let's get the arm out of the way. Take this bit, and we're gonna hold it by here, have a little more stability, like that, and swing this up. I'll show you that again. Let's move the arm out of the way. Bring this down, and then by holding it here, swing this up like that, and then bring this out. Now we have both those bits out. Let's bring the arms down just a little bit. There we go. Now, let's do this difficult part again where we untab this. There we go. It's untabbed. That gives us clearance once again to rotate this around like so. We can actually leave this untabbed because we're just going to push this down later. So let's leave that alone. Okay, so now for the legs. First we want to rotate this whole thing around. Okay, before you do that, lift the shovel up and let's lift this black bit out of the way. Rotate everything. And then untab these sides pieces. I don't know what to call these. These are combiner feet pieces. Untab those. Straighten the feet out. Let's show you from this side what that looks like as well. Straighten the feet out. Like so. And then we want to do the double hinge out. Both sides. Like so. Now with these pulled out, we're going to rotate the lower legs and bring that in. Like that, bring that in. I'll show you again so it's a little more clear. Rotate lower leg, like so. And then you bring this in. Okay. Next, let's see, what should we do next? Next, let's take the arms. And we're going to, here, let's move the shovel out of the way a little bit. Let's move this black bit down a little bit with the shovel. So we're going to take the arms and rotate them like so. Now you see this, there's this tab here, and there is a slot right here. And those go together. Bring this up, and that slots in. Like so. Same for the other side. We'll rotate this, and we're going to slot it in. And then you can simply push the forearms together as well, like so. You might want to pull this bit up a little bit because that's going to move, that's going to swing back for the transformation. So let's push these together. Let's take the legs and let's move them about 45 degrees. Let's turn them a little bit. Make sure these are not down like that. Make sure these are up. And we're going to bring both, this down, and then also bring the legs up. And the legs up. Now, before we finalize this part, let's turn him over. Let's pull the legs out a little bit. We're going to take his gun. Make sure the handle's facing up, and then bend it like that. And you'll see there's this eye-shaped bit here. And we have an eye-shaped slot or hole, or whatever you want to call it, there. This fits in there, like so. So you have your weapon in there. Now, let's move the legs down just a little bit, like one click. And then take the feet, swing them in, like so. You slot them together, and then there's these two slots here, and there's these two tabs here and here. Those go together, like so. And just make sure that you take the treads and kind of just give them a click so they go together, because they tend to be separated just a little tiny bit at this point. Now let's take this panel. Peekaboo! There's his head. Let's take this panel, bring it in. And then the final piece of the puzzle is you take this side piece here. Now you see this little double hinge here. Move it up like that, so when you bring it in, it'll clear this tab here. At least it helps it clear it. Oh, let's lift this guy up too. So it help it clear it, bring it in, and then snap it into place like that. Same thing for this side. Double hinge up, swing him in, and then tab him in there. And now we simply close the cab, and we bring the shovel up. There, and there we have our alt mode again. And a fine alt mode it is. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I love these figures. They're great. I highly recommend them. If you have any questions about this transformation, anything that you feel I didn't cover, ask me in the comment section below. If there's anything that you would like me to do different that would help with these transformations, let me know that as well. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.